We're going to take it to these rumors now. We promised you would get a little bit more in depth, so here
that took a lot longer than I expected.
Do you know, there's a lot of talk about, James. We can't help ourselves. So let's go ahead and take it to a rumor now. We mentioned this one. It was, is there going to be a decision?
decision
on the NCAA. There's people are talking, but what are we giving this, James?
Fake news.
It is fake news. There's no decision.
This was put out there, Lena, and I just want to people get so worked up when they see SECcountry.com, and then it went exploded on Reddit that the player Van Jefferson got approval from the NCAA. He's eligible. They said in their article they just made an honest mistake. They changed it, but people went and ran with it, and it went rampant fire for a couple weeks ago. We said it was fake news last week. It is triple confirmed because we've got rumor number 2 coming up as fake news. And I just want to point this one. Hey, SEC country, you didn't make the mistake, but you caused it. Reddit, you are fake news.
All right, getting our hopes up. Let's get to the next rumor we have. Did Shea Patterson file an NCAA appeal yet, James?
No, he has not filed his appeal, which is really surprising, and we didn't really know anything about this. His lawyer finally came out in the past few days and said, Shea has not filed an appeal. We're working with Michigan. We're not working separate with them. It sounds like, though, he didn't feel comfortable enough with just handing it over to the school. I don't know if that has any reason to be fearful of his relationship with Michigan by any means, but he said for a while he didn't have a lawyer. His parents didn't have a lawyer. Now he's got a lawyer, and it's the same lawyer, by the way, who represented Hugh Freeze in the entire ordeal. Houston Nutt, Ole Miss's former coach, in the entire ordeal that got Shea Patterson and Ole Miss in the kind of the trouble they're in. No bowl game next year. All that stuff. The reason why he's leaving campus. So it's interesting. This guy, this lawyer, is kind of taking down the entire Ole Miss program right now.
All right, giving this one 4 Harbaugh heads. Let's get to our third rumor. Is there a new 5-star recruit heading to Michigan?
Absolutely there is, but it's not someone new in the sense that he's someone who's going to commit today or he's coming over to Michigan from another school or going to commit coming up. This is a player, Cameron McGrone, who has skyrocketed up the recruiting rankings, Lena. Cameron McGrone is now in the top 30 players in the country according to 247sports.com after a phenomenal senior season and after a phenomenal showing in the postseason All-American game. So Cameron McGrone and the guy we're going to talk about here coming up in a few seconds, Otis Reese. Michigan's best 2 players are linebacker. We saw a stack there at linebacker. Don Brown's defense, they are set at linebacker for years to come at this point.
All right, giving that one 4 Harbaugh heads. And what could that mean, James? Well, let's tell you. So 0 Harbaugh heads means totally false. It is fake news. 1 Harbaugh head, small shred of truth. All right, 2 Harbaugh heads. People are talking. Okay.
The word is out. They out here saying.
Where there's smoke, there is fire. 3 Harbaugh heads. It's pretty likely. We 75%. Like the chances, right? And then 4 Harbaugh heads, an F-A-C-K. Fact, that is how Harbaugh spells it, and that's how we spell it here at Chat Sports.
The 2016 Michigan State game, F-A-C-K, that's how we spell it.
All right, let's continue on with our Michigan rumor roundup. Those were your first 3 rumors. Let's take it to rumor number 4 now. Is Otis Reese visiting Ann Arbor this weekend, James?
Back-to-back weeks in the state of Michigan, which I couldn't imagine a worse decision by a human in the history of the world if you're from Georgia and it's as cold as it's been here. He goes up last week, takes a visit to Central Michigan. His brother's a player there, his half-brother. Now he's coming back to Michigan. I think what this means, Lena, it's solidifying that I think he's coming to Michigan. We reported it was people were talking on Tuesday's show. It sounds like people are really talking. The 4 Harbaugh heads, he's coming to Michigan this weekend. That's confirmed. That was a rumor out there. Now it's F-A-C-K, but I think he's sticking with Michigan, which is a big deal. I didn't think he was going to stick with him. I thought not signing December 20th meant that he was looking around Tennessee, Georgia, maybe even Alabama.
All right, we will find out about that come February 7th. Let's take it to our next rumor. Quarterback signee Joe Milton has second thoughts about Michigan.
Well, these rumors started with him talking to some media, a little bit of local media, and then the recruiting websites picked up on it, and they kind of turned it into a little bit of a wild, crazy story. Joe Milton considered leaving Michigan when Shea Patterson decided to transfer. Well, they're really not going to overlap that much. Patterson will stay 1 year, if not 2, and Milton couldn't have expected to be the starter from day one. So he said they pressured him into saying that he thought about it. He said, yeah, maybe I give it a second thought, but I was always committed to Michigan. So this is an overblown headline. People are talking, because I saw this headline too many times, QB recruit Milton had second thoughts due to Patterson. But it was really like, hey, Lena, how you having a good day? Yeah, it's okay. Like Lena Bond's day, not good, or something like that. Like just taking the comment and blowing it out of proportion.
That is good. 2 Harbaugh heads from that one. So let's take it to our next rumor. So that is Aiden Hutchinson. He is the most improved recruit in the nation. James, is this true?
Oh, it is true. Absolutely. He had an amazing Army All-American game. And so, well, I should say, it's true in the sense that I think it's true, right? So, but this is one of these things that people are talking. We can't give an FACK because we can't analyze every player. So we're going to go ahead and give it a 2 Harbaugh Head. But where it is true and where it could be a FACK is that he was the biggest riser in the most recent 24/7 Sports recruiting rankings. The final ones. He was in the mid 160 or so player. He popped up into the top 80, Lena. Really solidified himself. He was the guy all the people at the Army All-American game every day of practice in the game were saying he's a standout. He's the guy who's impressing the most.
All right, let's take it to our 7th rumor now. This one's pretty interesting. So Harbaugh tells recruits, I am going to be a different person. James, is this true?
Well, it's a 2 Harbaugh Head. People are talking. That person who's talking is Brandon Justice. So Brandon Justice is a guy who used to work for Rivals, and he used to work for, I think, Land of 10 and 24/7. He's a little bit of a job hopper there, but he's got his own site now there. Give him a little entrepreneurial spirit. The Wolverine Lounge said this in a tweet. Didn't name the player. Didn't name when it was said. So I can't give it anything more than a 2 Harbaugh Head. Brandon Justice is talking about it. But it's probable. I mean, what would Harbaugh say? You can't really say 8-5 is what we expect in the future, or you're not going to get the recruits you want. So he could have said this, but I don't really put much validity behind it if it's unnamed player, unnamed day. All
right, 2 Harbaugh Heads from that one. Keeping on the Harbaugh rumor mill, did he also say he realized that he needs to fix some things after the 2017 season?
So same report from Justice. We just kind of 2 different things, that he needs to change, and then he needs to change things around him, right? So those coaches, this offensive seam is that, what did Michigan do basically the day after the Ohio State game? Fired the strength and conditioning coach. I think Harbaugh, definitely has to fix some things, or he is going to be on the hot seat. And this love affair with Jim Harbaugh that was a fever pitch 3 years ago just continued to go down in the eyes of some Michigan fans. So definitely need to think of it, fix some things. Justice is the one that reported that. Until someone else says it, we're going to leave it at 2 Harbaugh Heads for now.
All right, next rumor. Are the Raiders waiting till after National Signing Day to hire Pep Hamilton?
So the Raiders put out John Gruden's majority of his coaching staff yesterday in an official press release. A few spots missing, but most notably quarterback coach. We told you that it was a report out there that he was targeting Pep Hamilton. We've said for weeks that Pep Hamilton has multiple potential NFL job offers, and this one might make the most sense. Rivals came out with the report. They tried to be very coy. It was the old see a name missing, and then there's like QB coach, read between the lines. That was basically the report. So it's the people are talking. I think these recruiting websites, they like to do that. So if it happens, they get some credit for it. They always do this, as we told you a few weeks ago, even if they just just said it a little bit. So that's a 2 Harbaugh Head, but keep an eye out. February 8th, 9th, and beyond. Why they would do this is because Pep Hamilton is on the recruiting trail. He is the point of contact for a lot of different players, mostly on the offensive side. If he leaves, you could lose those players. Not a very, I guess, not a cool thing to do to kind of just wait and then leave on the guy, but plenty of schools do it. It's pretty common practice.
All right, 2 Harbaugh Heads from that one. Let's take it to our next rumor. Is there an offensive coordinator on the move for Michigan?
Yeah, there is an offensive coordinator on the move, but not the current offensive coordinator. We like to play a little games with this one. OC on the move. It is gorgeous Al Borges. He is a guy who was one of the fittest coaches Michigan's ever had in their career. This guy was a marathoner in a former life. Kidding, but a brutal coach. You have no idea about Al Borges, just how terrible his offense was after that first year with Denard Robinson. And he was a guy Brady Hoke just kind of took from school to school for about a 7-year period. Was just really lingered around doing nothing for the past 4 or 5 years. And now he is on to University of Texas, San Antonio. Al Borges, one of the more ridiculed, maligned coaches I can ever remember at the University of Michigan.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Borges. Let's move on to our next rumor. Utah starting cornerback is going to transfer to Michigan. What are we giving this one, James?
Well, I don't know. It's a 2 Harbaugh Head. People are talking about Lena, and it doesn't mean that he is likely to come. It doesn't mean that Michigan's his only school, but he named Michigan. He is visiting this weekend, Lena. So he might let his recruitment go several weeks and not end up on campus until May for summer for the summer semester and be able to work out in the summer. But he's not going to be able to play in spring ball, it looks like, with whatever school. He's still got to go through and graduate at Utah, from what I read today. So with that being said, visiting Michigan, he's going to look around a few schools. He's got 5 officials. Michigan's one of them, and Michigan's the first one after he just announced it this week. So I think that's a good thing to be the first one. That probably means that Michigan was first on his mind. I don't know about that Michigan weather, though, but he'll be on campus this weekend today.
All right, last rumor we have for you in our Michigan Rumor Roundup. Do we have the hardest schedule in 2018, James?
Well, some people are talking, Lena, that they do, and it's actually that's a 3 Harbaugh hat. It's that it's pretty likely because, people are talking. We've got this guy, Matt Smith, at Matt Smith CFB, and he talked me into it thinking it was a 3 Harbaugh hat because, Lena, you look at it, 5 games against teams that are likely top 20, if not top 15. You could have 4 games against top 9 or 10 teams, like Michigan State, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State, and Notre Dame to start the year. That Notre Dame game, which is supposed to be Arkansas, how much nicer would it be to host Arkansas versus go on the road to Notre Dame in that first game, potentially the new starting quarterback, potentially the new guy calling plays on offense. That was just kind of a brutal scheduling decision on behalf of the Michigan athletic department, and really on behalf of Jim Harbaugh, because he was the one that really pushed for to get Notre Dame on the schedule after that instance in 2013 where they got off the schedule and they gave the infamous letter at center field before the game.
All right, pretty likely that the Wolverines will have the hardest schedule in 2018. I'm Lena Bond, and this is your Michigan football insider, James Yoder. We are presented by Game Time, the #1 app on the App Store for all last-minute ticket prices. They track them in real time to get us the best deals, James. And like we talked about earlier, $2 tickets, $3 tickets, those really are the best deals.
Yeah, of course they're the best deals. It makes it like a no-brainer to go to a game. It's cheaper than a movie. But if you want to upgrade, do yourself a nice thing. I have gotten like 5th-row seats at NBA games before for under $100, which is unheard of. Using Game Time, you'll see them on other websites for $250, $300. Game Time, $100, $125. So big fan. iOS, Android, get the app. It is awesome. Set alerts, Lena. You can get kind of a last-minute alerts around you, what tickets have gone on sale, deep last-minute discounts. Before we go, do want to give a shout-out to all of our friends on YouTube. We're crushing YouTube. Got a lot of love in the comments. Also, the Michigan Football Report is probably the best Michigan football podcast out there for iPhone only, so go ahead and get that bad boy, and you can take us with you on the go anytime you want.
All right, that was the Michigan Football Report. If you missed anything, we went over roster for 2018 and the rumor mill. We will loop it all back at the beginning of the hour. But until then, I'm Lena Bond. That's James Yoder. We'll see you next time.